Hey everyone, welcome to a new run for Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monster Coliseum. Today we're starting a new mod, which, it's been out for a little bit, but I finally actually got around to playing this one, which is a Rebirth Mod. So, I'll put everything in the description below for y'all to play as well. But, from what I've gathered, it's essentially just, the monsters have been slightly changed up. The opponents have different monsters, there's different shops, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this one pans out. Honestly, lately there's been just a lot of development in terms of modding this game, which is really nice and exciting to see, because for the longest time there was absolutely nothing, right? Then Rebirth Mod came, and since then we've had the randomizer, now Rebirth Mod. And there's much more to come, I think, as well. So, we recently did a run with the light, symbol. So I think we're gonna go for what I kind of feel like going for, an attack symbol instead of a defense symbol, because I feel like lately I've just been using defense symbols a bit more now. Generally speaking, I'd probably argue that defense symbols are a little harder, but of course, I don't know how hard this game is going to be. So, generally speaking, I'd like to put in 50 into AP, and then put the rest into MP, just to be able to buy more monsters in the beginning. You do technically need to be able to afford 10 monsters, so I did check if the mod worked. So I did at least see that we are going to be utilizing unused monsters, which is interesting. That does mean that we cannot play with animations on, or, well, otherwise we kind of risk the game crashing, because, a lot of monsters, to be fair, when it comes to the unused monsters, there's the portrait, right, which is kind of the main thing, right? Some of them happen to have, a chess piece model, like a piece model, right? Although most of them still have the placeholders. A few have piece models. Obviously, none of them have animations, and for a lot of them, they have pretty odd stats and movement options. But I believe, if I'm correct, that's all been changed in this mod. I mean, who knows? Maybe all of the stat distribution is just completely different, and suddenly wood is some sort of defensive typing now. Although Psychic Kappa still seems to be relatively the same. For instance, we get to start off with Hoshingen, who is, I think, an unused monster. 2x2 is not too bad. We have to start with Sinister Serpent, who is pretty good for a starting monster. None of the waters seem super exciting, but for wood we get Mushroom Man, who is also unused. And wow, we get to start off with Hercules Beetle, so I think we'll just bring all of these. Petite Moth. Who knows? There's a decent chance that we aren't going to see Weevil anyways. Stat-wise, it seems like it's more based on the original and not Rebirth Mod, which is fine. But it is what I'm more used to. Although I do see that I think Happy Lover has been slightly nerfed, which makes sense, because Happy Lover is really good normally. I think Thorax's been buffed though. I can already see some changes. We'll pick Drollbird and I think Haniwa has been buffed by 1 movement, if I'm correct. Or it looks like it. I think since the Serpent has been nerfed by 1, we'll pick Hushingen because it's a new monster. Although I don't know how many other symbol monsters we will be using. It depends. It depends on how much I enjoy it, right? Who knows? This might be just 1 playthrough. It might be multiple. So the first thing we see is that Joey uses wind monsters, which is already something different, right? Good for us because we're wood. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. So let's see what Joey has. I'm gonna assume we're gonna be facing primarily monsters with the same symbol and with the same element, right? So I imagine Joey will have fire and wind monsters. I think that makes sense, generally speaking. Okay, never mind. He does have a light monster. That's interesting. I'm gonna just quickly check and see what he's got. So he starts off with Baby Dragon times. Okay, that makes sense. And Fire Reaper Hinatama Soul. I definitely like the touch of giving him Baby Dragon and Time Wizard. I'm assuming he gave him Wind Monster or the Wind symbol, probably to slightly balance it out a bit, because this would be pretty tough if you had the Fire symbol instead. So, we haven't ever used Mushroom Man. It seems like the symbols still do the exact same. I wonder if you can even edit that. But for now, I mean, we could go for like... I was gonna say we could go for Root Water to hope that we may get High Tide Gyojin like fast, or like get an early High Tide Gyojin. I think I will. We can bring 4 monsters. I don't know if this is supposed to be like difficult or not. Like honestly, I tried to just go into this pretty blind, so let's hide that Gyojin and we'll bring Petite Moth, sure. But I will say, it's a nice touch giving Joey Baby Dragon and Time Wizard. Alright, so let's just start by opening everyone up. Mushroom Man does not seem too bad. But yeah, as you can see, he does not have a peace model, which... I don't know how many of them even have a peace model. I know not a lot of them. Not a lot of the unused monsters have them. Alright, more tutorial stuff. I'm assuming everyone knows how to play this game, so I'm not gonna bother explaining every nitty detail on how to play. I think that goes without saying. Oh, I am good. I can imagine. I can already imagine. Oops, I forgot to turn on animations. Or turn off animations. If I'm not careful, I'm definitely crashing the game accidentally. I like looking at most of the animations, but it's also obviously partially to make like good thumbnails. Like that helps a lot too. Oh, doing this one. We'll allow us to save state just in case shit goes wrong. I mean, y'all aren't seeing certain things, but I did have to check real quick if this uses the save states of other runs I did previously, because sometimes they do that. But I mean, generally speaking, we do kind of have the advantage here, generally speaking. So yeah, it seems like the symbols are pretty unchanged, but yeah, that's fine, to be honest. Although, like, yeah, I think Fire Reaper has been nerfed, looking at its stats. Yeah, looks like it seems like that's the case, at least for both of these fire monsters, because usually they'd have about 20 attack more. I'm talking about their base stat, not the stat that is, you know, currently their attack, which is calculated with the terrain change. Alright, hook, line, and sinker, I suppose.
What? You can't be serious.
Alright. Wait. Oh, wow. You get 3 movement now? That is insane. That's a big buff for Root Butter. Which, they really could have given that to Psychic Kappa instead. But, like, damn, I didn't expect that. You can just place it there now instead. Is Baby Dragon still the same? Okay, he's got odd movement. Oh, you can move everywhere between that space. That is pretty good. Although you've been weakened to 3/1 now. I've seen some interesting changes here. Some of them that I probably wouldn't have made personally, but like also that's kind of fine. It's not my game, right? So we don't even kill. But you know, I'll show you what happens when I press yes to animations. Okay. Wait, what? What? Okay. So, it seems like they made a character model for Hinotama's soul. This is a discovery I didn't realize myself. So, like, I can gather to the fact that Hinotama's soul had a... Apparently... Wow. I'm kind of speechless, but apparently it seems like Hinotama's soul did have an animation for being attacked. Or at least a model, but doesn't have an attack animation. Damn, nah, I wish you had 2 by thingy. I'm gonna just move you back. You're gonna probably go over here. Also, usually something like a root water would be able to kill here. But I suppose with the wind symbol, they barely survive.
Win it quick and slick. That's my motto.
I'm gonna be. I did not realize they had a model for Hinotama's Soul. It probably means that Hinotama's Soul is one of the more finished models out there, or more finished monsters. Because yeah, this is what happens when I don't switch this off. Oh wait, never mind. Ooh. So wait a minute. Have they fixed that? That seems... I didn't realize that. That's cool though. They fixed it so that any monster that like doesn't have a animation, that's really intuitive. So any monster that doesn't have an animation, they'll automatically just like not do, which is like it surprises me. That's the main thing. It surprised me more than anything else. But that's pretty fucking awesome, because that means we could actually just show all the animations we want. And then we don't have to worry about things crashing. Although I still find it interesting that we now know that Hinotama's Soul probably was a pretty well developed piece. Yeah, okay, it's just one around and good to know. You can move over here. Move you there. Thing is, if I move you... Okay, never mind, it's where... Kinda sucks that we weren't able to... We're probably gonna lose root water here. But it's, you know, not the end of the world. We're not doing a Iron Man run. Something of those sorts. Although I think this will allow him to come in with Time Wizard. Like, obviously, it definitely helped Joey that he's got more versatility at the moment. Although it also wouldn't surprise me if he has a chance to have just a different team altogether. Or that wouldn't be out of the question either. Although Hinotama's Soul, I think, can't hit anyone at the moment. Hinotama's Soul is almost dead, but he could definitely do a lot of damage to either Petite Moth or Mushroom Man, which is on trying to at least avoid happening. But, you know what it is? It's mainly that Baby Dragon has pretty good... like movement, like that movement option at 2 is pretty good because it just gives him a lot of movement options. Not as easy to play around, put it that way. It kind of feels inevitable. If I could move there, I could hit you, but yeah, we sort of have no choice. We can start off with this. Alright, good. What? I think it did some issues desyncing my thing. Alright, I'm glad that at least kills. I'm hoping that we can also kill Hinatama Soul with that. That'd be cool. But, damn, I still find it really cool that they, like, fixed that. Or at least put something into place for the game not to crash like that. I know I'm more in like the minority of players that actually plays with animations on. By the way, I'm like not pressing that button. Please kill, that would be nice. Hey, look at that. But I get it that I think the game didn't really like me doing that. So it's probably not completely perfect, but still. You know, looking back, it actually kind of doesn't surprise me that this thing doesn't have. Sorry, it doesn't surprise me that this thing has a model, considering the fact that I think all the models are just taken from Jewels of the Roses. One experience is a little disappointing, though. But the movement's odd. My cursor is kind of broken at the moment, not doing what it's supposed to, which I don't know if that is a consequence of me doing some sort of attack it didn't want me to do. Who knows? I can at least say that it's like, there are already some things I'm really enjoying about this. It definitely feels pretty fresh. If it's one thing about Duelist of the Roses of Capsule Monsters, is the fact that a lot of the times the early game feels the exact same. Also, it's kind of a weird camera angle. I don't feel like we're ever put into this. I don't think it shows us this angle all too often, but at this point we've seen Petite Mob's animation a few times now. I think it's fine to just finish this off. Alright, so Rhubarber may have died, but hey, the rest did some stuff. You know, usually I'm so used to like Rebirth Mod, where you've got this, where Joey has Kurama, which you can kind of just abuse to move over and destroy the symbol. I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a lot less of there being monsters that have the a combination of only being able to like walk or hit in a certain diagonal, because those monsters tend to not be that great because half of the spots on the map they literally can't touch. It's just like a huge flaw in at least some of these monsters. But yeah, who to take? I think we'll take Hinatama Soul and Baby Dragon. You know, Baby Dragon is, I think, technically weakened. I think its movement option is just really cool. That's the main thing. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't use the same save states, but it uses the same memory slot details as like everything before this. Kind of strange, but also can't really complain that much. There are some things that I am curious about because I'm assuming it just replaces the 200 slots for monsters that there are. So Tristan is now Thunder, which is a good change because there's Thunder elements on the board. I think he usually otherwise is Wood, although I will say he, normally has Wood monsters as well. So I can't really blame that too much either. I'm just curious. Usually the Area 1 shop is also not 100% the same. If we had missed something, we could have gone back. Kaminari Koza is, I think, pretty... This is unchanged from the original, but I think in Rebirth Mod, Kaminari Koza was nerfed. Neilworm might have been given an extra movement point, although I'm not 100% sure about that. Wicked Dragon seems the same. Larvis is the same, except that he might have a little less attack. I think he may have nerfed the attack of Earth monsters, which can make sense because the Earth monsters are, stat for stat, probably the strongest or second strongest in the game. But I'm a little curious about, if you go in the monster collection, yeah, it shows Hoshing in here. Normally, it clearly just replaces like a different monster. Which is totally fine. Or at least I'm assuming it works like that. But yeah, I think it's about time we wrap at least this first episode off. But things so far seem pretty promising. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, got that, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you in the next one. Goodbye.